Today I'll talk about product design. This is part of my series of lectures on operations management. I will cover this lecture under following sections: introduction, product life cycle, value engineering, design for X, ergonomics, and rapid prototyping. Product design is an outgrowth of a very similar discipline called industrial design. According to Industrial Designers Society of America, industrial design is the professional practice of designing products. Industrial designers not only focus on the appearance of the product, but also on how it functions, how it is manufactured, and ultimately the value and experience it provides for users. Product design is the answer for one of the two questions. The two basic questions are: one is how should we produce? And for this answer is in product design and development. The other basic question is how much to produce, and the answer is in demand forecasting. I will take another lecture on demand forecasting later. Now let us see what is product life cycle. Product life cycle is applicable to manufacturing industry. However, it may also be applicable to service industry. Product life cycle is the course or stages that a product's sales and profit takes over time. There are basically 5 stages of product life cycle. First one is product development, then introduction and launch of product, then growth, then maturity, and finally decline. Product life cycle contributes to strategic marketing planning, as we will see later. Product life cycle helps in forecasting and managing cash flows, and it is also important in cost management, as we will see soon. This is the 4 stages of product life cycle, and these are the 5 stages of product life cycle. If we focus on these 5 stages, the first one is product development, and the next is introduction. In introduction, there are low sales and high cost per customer, so there are financial losses. So there are losses in the introduction phase, and very few, if any, competitors are there. In growth phase, cost per customer falls and profit rises. So there is rise in profit in growth phase. And then there is peak sales and cost per customer is lowest. So cost per customer is lowest at this maturity stage, and profits are high. Then in decline, there is falling sales and cost per customer is low. It is not lowest as compared to the maturity stage. A number of competitors, they also decline. So these are the stages of product life cycle. I have taken this figure from these sources. And this is about the marketing strategy in these various stages of product life cycle. The important one I have highlighted in green color, and this table I have taken from this source. So in introduction phase, we can encourage product trial, and we should use price skimming or price penetration pricing strategy. Then in growth phase, we can reduce price enough to expand the market and establish market share. And in promotional strategy, we can use mass media advertising and establish a brand image. In maturity stage, we can design product versions for different segments. And we should maintain intensive distribution channels. In decline phase, we minimize marketing expenditure, and as far as promotions are concerned, there is minimal level should be used to retain loyal customers, and rationalize outlets to minimize distribution costs. Then about cost management with respect to product life cycle. So this is the figure I have taken from this source, and it tells us about the impact of cost reduction in a product life cycle. So the impact is much more at the initial uh, stages in product life cycle. These are the various cost at these stages of the product life cycle. At the introductory phase, there is cost in terms of research and development, fixed asset acquisition, and marketing cost. During growth phase, there is cost of manufacture mainly, and during maturation, there are promotional cost, training cost, and in the decline phase, there are disposal cost, R&D cost, etc. This I have taken from this source. So to reiterate again that design stage is very important. So design stage has the greatest impact on the cost reduction. Since 80% of product costs are locked in at the design stage, it is vital that waste is minimized by design. And the choices made at the design stage should account for all stages in the product life cycle. Now let us see what is value engineering. Value engineering is an organized study of functions to satisfy users' need with a quality product at the lowest life cycle cost through, I'm sorry, this is through applied creativity. So the objective is to make a quality product at a lower cost, and this is not equal to cost reduction. Value engineering focus on basic function of the product. So the focus is on functions. So objective is to substitute at less cost and similar or better performance. We choose material, process, and design at lower cost. And as I have told that value engineering is not cost cutting, as quality and reliability are not compromised in value engineering. It is also not design review. We do it at the design stage itself. And value engineering is not product elimination, and it is also not scope reduction. This is value engineering life cycle. We create a product from an idea, we evaluate and select, and then we do functional analysis. So this is a kind of a cycle. Now let us see what is design for X. So DFX or design for X answers that how we are producing, and the X may be substituted for manufacturing, design for manufacturing, for assembly, design for assembly, or for production, cost, service, safety, reliability. So these, the X may be replaced by one of these, and I'll talk about design for excellence, design for manufacturing, design for assembly. So design for excellence is a systematic design approach that entails wide range of guidelines and standards focused on optimizing the product realization lifecycle. These guidelines ensure the issues related to manufacturing, assembly, cost, quality, and serviceability are addressed at the design stage itself. So in design for manufacturing, the objective is to decrease cost of components, decrease cost of assembly, and decreased cost of supporting production. Whereas in design for assembly, the objective is that the assembly is easier, and this is addressed by these 3 points. One is by decreasing number of parts. So the parts which does not directly contribute to the main function of the product, they can be removed. The other is ease of handling during assembly. We can make use of self-locating features while assembling the various parts. We can use parts which require minimal reorientation. We can use standard parts, and we can adopt component assembly. Then the third is ease of assembly. We can use top-down assembly, and we can decrease assembly time. Now let us see what is ergonomics. Ergo means work and nomos means laws. So in ergonomics, objective is to reduce fatigue of person while using the product. Idea is to improve the efficiency of operations by taking into consideration human capability. So these are the two keywords, reduce fatigue and human capability. So ergonomics is the study human capabilities in relation to work demand. Hence the task is to design product to help the human to increase his capability. Ergonomic design is also more safer and good for health. So these are the three types of ergonomics. One is physical ergonomics. So it has a physical dimension. Idea is to lower the risk of musculoskeletal disorders while using the product. Then there is cognitive ergonomics. It has a mental dimension. Then is organizational ergonomics. The idea is that the teamwork can be easily done or shift duties can be easily done. So these are the types of ergonomics. Now finally, I'll talk about rapid prototyping. So prototype comes from Greek word prototypon, which means first or primitive form. Prototype can be non-functional or functional. And prototyping is an art of managing expectations. What is rapid prototyping? To convert an idea into a commercial product, we require a time. So the input is time, and idea is to reduce this time in rapid prototyping. So in rapid prototyping nowadays, technology is there. We can make use of computer-aided design or CAD, and the file format of CAD is to be converted into STL format. And after STL format, we need to make cross-sectional layers. Then we construct the model using, let us say, 3D printer. Then finally, we clean and finish the model and remove support system if used any during construction of the model. So this was about rapid prototyping, and this is the overall brief lecture on product design. Thank you very much.